The return of Oumuamua, a mystery reawakens, music fades in deep, suspenseful, cinematic tone. In the fall of 2017, something entered our solar system that would leave scientists across the globe stunned. A mysterious object, long and narrow like a cosmic spear, came hurtling in from interstellar space. It was the first time in human history that we had ever detected something so clearly originating from outside our solar system. The object's official name? Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning scout, or messenger from afar arriving first. But it wasn't just the name that stirred curiosity, it was its behavior. Oumuamua didn't act like anything we'd ever seen before. Astronomers initially assumed it was a comet. After all, comets are common visitors that come in from the cold edges of space. But where was the tail? The trail of gas and dust we expect to see as a comet heats up near the sun? It had no outgassing. No debris. No tail. And yet, it accelerated. Objects in space don't just speed up for no reason. That one strange motion triggered a scientific and philosophical debate unlike any in recent memory. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb raised the unthinkable possibility that Oumuamua might be artificial. Not a rock. Not a comet. But a spacecraft, perhaps a relic or a probe from another civilization. Could it really be alien technology drifting between the stars? Most scientists remain skeptical, suggesting exotic natural origins like a fragment of a disrupted planet, or an object shaped by forces we don't yet understand. But the mystery only deepened as Oumuamua moved quickly past Earth and then out of the solar system, vanishing from view before we could study it up close. The world watched it disappear, wondering, what was it? Where did it come from? And would we ever see something like it again? For years, Oumuamua became a symbol of cosmic uncertainty, a riddle with no clear answer. Until now. Because in the quiet of deep space, it has returned. Astronomers around the world are now tracking a new object with uncanny similarities to Oumuamua. It's long, thin, highly reflective. And it's accelerating again, without any visible propulsion. At first, scientists hoped it was just coincidence. But then a second appeared. And a third. These aren't random rocks floating through the void. They're arriving in patterns. Coordinated, controlled. It's as if Oumuamua wasn't a one-off mystery, but the first piece of something much, much bigger. And this time, we're watching. NASA, ESA, and China's CNSA have mobilized telescopes, satellites, and early mission planning teams. SpaceX, Blue Origin, and other private aerospace companies are stepping in to offer new technologies to study the objects. The goal? Intercept them before they vanish again. For the first time in history, humanity is preparing to chase an interstellar visitor. Or, maybe something more than a visitor. As Elon Musk said during a closed-door briefing, if these objects are related to Oumuamua, then we are either looking at the most extraordinary natural phenomenon we've ever seen, or we're not alone. And the evidence? It's only getting stranger. One of the newly detected objects was tracked making tiny but deliberate course adjustments. Not gravitational curves, intentional shifts. Then, shortly after a deep space radar scan was conducted, it responded. The object's path deviated ever so slightly, as if acknowledging the scan. Debris doesn't do that. What exactly are we witnessing? Is it just a natural anomaly beyond our understanding, or are we looking at a message? A signal, maybe even a visitor from the stars? And if they're watching us, what happens now? Music, the interstellar enigma. Are we being watched? Music fades in ominous, rising tension, like a slow cosmic heartbeat. When we left off, astronomers, scientists, and governments were grappling with a stunning realization. Multiple objects nearly identical to the 2017 visitor Oumuamua had entered our solar system. But these weren't just interstellar rocks drifting aimlessly through space. These were something else. Something intelligent. Something aware. They didn't just appear. They arrived with purpose. Each of these elongated, highly reflective objects was behaving in ways that defied all known laws of physics. They were not only accelerating without visible propulsion, they were adjusting their paths. Like aircraft with flight control. Like spacecraft with a destination. The similarities to Oumuamua were undeniable. But this time, they weren't alone. This time, they came in formation. 3, then 5, then more. All moving together. As if guided. As if coordinated. And soon, it became impossible to ignore the questions now racing through the scientific world. What are they? Where are they going? And who or what sent them? Governments held emergency briefings. Space agencies began urgent collaborations. Private aerospace giants like SpaceX and Blue Origin entered closed-door discussions with national defense officials. Why such secrecy? Because if these objects aren't natural, if they're not fragments of ancient collisions or strange cometary anomalies, then the implications are staggering. We may be witnessing our first contact with non-human intelligence. And that possibility is terrifying and awe-inspiring in equal measure. NASA began developing a mission blueprint to intercept the nearest object before it escapes again. China's CNSA proposed using their Chang'e deep space systems to deploy a tracking array. The European Space Agency considered repurposing existing satellites and probes to follow the objects in real time. But even with international urgency, one chilling revelation eclipsed all others. One of the objects, not the largest, but the most active, had begun changing course. Not drifting, not orbiting, turning. And heading inward. Toward the inner solar system. Toward Earth. Its path was analyzed by observatories across 4 continents. The data was clear. This object was actively steering toward our region of space. This wasn't gravitational influence. This wasn't a slingshot effect. This was something far more intentional. And that raised the most unsettling question yet. Why? If these visitors are truly artificial probes, scouts, or even vessels, then what is their mission? Are they here to observe? To communicate? To respond to something we've done? Some believe it's no coincidence that their return follows decades of growing radio signals, nuclear activity, and deep space exploration from Earth. What if our technological footprint finally drew attention? What if they heard us, and chose to come back? Others point to strange correlations. Meteor fragments with unknown isotopes. Unexplained signals from space, fast radio bursts repeating in impossible intervals. And of course, centuries of unexplained sightings in Earth's skies, dismissed as myth, now suddenly relevant. Could all of this be connected? Is there a greater cosmic pattern we've failed to see until now? Elon Musk, in a recent private statement, reportedly said, "If these objects are maneuvering with intention, then they're using propulsion technology we haven't even conceived of yet. And if they're watching us, they know we're watching them back." That last point has become a turning obsession for many scientists. Because one of the objects, after being scanned by long-range radar, responded. Not with a signal. Not with lights. But with movement. A subtle deviation, a course correction, a reaction. And that changes everything. No asteroid does that. No comet responds to our instruments. No natural object acknowledges observation. We're no longer just looking at space rocks. We may be looking at sentinels. Or scouts. Or something far more complex. Now, with time running out and these objects continuing to move deeper into the solar system, the scientific community is torn between caution and action. Some warn that if we try to intercept them, we may trigger a reaction we're not prepared for. Others argue that inaction would be a greater risk. Letting them pass without understanding their purpose could mean losing the most important moment in human history. And still, one question looms larger than all the rest. Are they coming to us? Not drifting, not flying by. Coming to us. If that's true, then we may soon witness the beginning of something that has never happened before in our history: first contact. Or perhaps, not even the first. Maybe just the first we're finally advanced enough to notice. And so now, the world watches. The skies are being scanned. Satellites repositioned. Probes prepared. Because whatever these objects are, whatever their mission, they are still coming. And they are getting closer. Music shifts soft, eerie ambiance as the tension gives way to reflection. So now we ask you, the listener, the viewer, the explorer. What do you believe these objects truly are? A once-in-a-million-year cosmic anomaly? Or proof undeniable and imminent that we are not alone in the universe? Are they here to study us? To warn us? To connect? Or to prepare us for something we can't yet imagine? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay informed as this story continues to unfold, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because this mystery is no longer science fiction. It's reality.